This is CES MMA.
All right, fight fans, we are back for our second bout of the night. This is the Jim Beam welterweight fight. Brandon Gagnon versus Tommy VENTICINQUE. And I'm going to mess that name up the rest of the night. Both fighters weighed in on weight 170. Both fighters, one's from Warwick, Rhode Island, Tommy's from Warwick, and Brandon's from Methuen, Mass. We're going to send it down to Jamie Beveau for all the details.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Jim Beam bout in the welterweight division. At the bell, the man in charge of the action will be referee Dan Mergliata. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He fights out of Team United Muay Lao. This is his pro debut. Weighing in at 169 pounds and hailing from Warwick, Rhode Island, Tommy the Iceman VENTICINQUE. And introducing to my left, fighting out of the blue corner, fighting out of Sidiotong Gym, with a professional record of 3 wins against 4 losses, with 1 big win coming by way of submission. He weighed in at 170 pounds. Hailing from Methuen, Massachusetts, here is Brandon CHAGNON.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this particular fight, I am not pronouncing last names. You have Tommy, and Tommy's fighting in the white trunks, and Brandon's fighting in the black. Unless, Mr. Burrell, you feel like you want to take a shot at those last names?
I'm going to say it's Tommy VENTICINQUE.
VENTICINQUE.
But that's pure
And it looks like an inside leg kick was led right to the groin. And because we have the best production team in the business, we get to see it right away right now. I'm going to watch this one again and see how center mass this was. Dan Mergliata steps aside, gives Tommy a few minutes to find the items. Oh, that looked really like it wrapped around the leg and hit the cup very flush.
Anytime you throw that front inside leg kick, if you don't get a sideways angle, you always run the danger of running up the inside of the thigh and making contact with the...
It's just my inner Joe Rogan. I have to see it again and again. Tommy looks like he shakes it off in quick time, and here we go. Inside leg kick by Tommy and a right hand, trying to muscle Brandon to the cage. Nice knee off the cage. He used a tie plum to get off.
He threw a nice overhand right off that break on the plum, too.
Lead uppercut and a left hook and a straight right hand by Brandon. Both fighters mixing it up, throwing the leather fast and hard right now.
They're definitely both getting in the pocket and trying to hurt each other. Bad intent behind these punches. They're throwing with a lot of heat.
Brandon tried to reverse elbow off a jab. That was nice to see, just didn't get his feet with him. Nice rear leg by Tommy. Nice straight right hand by Brandon. Looks like we got an eye poke. It looked like Brandon caught a finger in his right eye ever so briefly. Nice straight right hand by Tommy.
Both fighters have exchanged power, and neither one is backing off. They're both standing their ground and engaging.
Now instead of trying to feel each other out, you're trying to impose your will. Straight right left hook by Brandon. Wobbled Tommy for just a few seconds. He looks to see if he's recovered. Nice inside leg kick, not in the groin that time. Answered by an inside leg kick. Straight left hand by Tommy off the inside leg kick by Brandon. Again, both fighters looking to do some damage here. Not super technical, both fighters swinging for the fences a little bit.
Yeah, they're standing in front of each other. There's not a lot of head movement, not a lot of feinting going on. They're picking their shots and they're trying to hurt each other.
Lead right uppercut, left hook, and a short left hook as he exited. Brandon's really, he finds his distance better. I just don't like the fact that he lifts his chin up when he throws his punches.
He might not like that later in the broadcast as well.
And it could be from the incidental eye poke. He might not be able to see. He has to change his, his head movement to get better vision, but
True.
Could be costly.
Again, so we have that big burst of initial engagement. Now both fighters are being a little bit more tactical.
We're about halfway through the first round. Very entertaining first round. Both fighters having no problem whatsoever throwing the leather back and forth. Rear leg just missed by Tommy. Brandon locks up. He looked like he had double unders for a second and lost it. Tommy now applying some pressure to keeping Brandon against the cage.
Yeah, and this tussle, as we mentioned earlier, it takes a lot of energy.
Both fighters expending that energy right now. This is a position, if you can't improve it, it's sometimes best to disengage.
Well, the person who's pressing towards the other person into the cage, sometimes it can be a law of diminishing returns. After you spend a few seconds there, you burn so much energy, what are you going to get done?
Looks like Tommy jumped the guillotine very quickly, but was defended very well. He doesn't...
Yeah, Brandon tried to drop down for a double leg. He got it, Tommy tried to drop down for a double leg. Brandon snatched up his head, but he did the smart thing. He jumped to the left and passed the side control. So even though he had the good squeeze on the neck, can't control the hips, you can't finish the technique.
Tommy is on top. Brandon just recovers his guard now. Let's see how these guys do off the ground.
We'll see how active Brandon's guard is. Tommy looks like he's trying to control the center and land short blows.
Those short elbows to the body, I really like them. I think they're very underused.
I like what he's doing. You see how he's almost utilizing a tie plum here, but
yes,
from the guard position? Can also be used as a can opener
yeah.
To open the legs. If you notice, there was a separation of that closed guard, but Brandon seems to have locked it back up. You always have to be careful when you're trying to hurt somebody from within their guard. If you get overextended, you get off balance trying to throw an elbow or a punch, you can land yourself into a triangle or an armbar very easily.
As you've taught so many times, it's just as important to have good balance, good base and posture, not only standing but on the ground. Timmy, you preach that all the time in classes.
Yeah, footwork and movement, even though your feet aren't always the thing touching the ground. Angles and movement. Looks like Brandon's having a little bit of trouble trying to generate some offense from here.
Yeah, Brandon needs to either generate a little better offense. He's taking some short elbows from Tommy or look to get up. Maybe put a foot on his hip, a foot on that knee, and start affecting his base.
Absolutely. It looks like he's trying to, waiting for Tommy to overcommit on the strikes and try to catch him in a submission.
Well, as you said, he's overextended with that left arm right now, Tommy is. That's a prime armbar situation or triangle when you're that far extended.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Whenever you're in somebody's guard, if you get one arm in and one arm out, you get very vulnerable to an attack.
Well, it didn't look like he was even looking for that submission at the time. Fantastic first round. I guess I'd have to lean towards Tommy just because he finished on top and was working.
I agree with you, Scott. I would vote the same way.
Let's see what the corners have to say.
Scott, as a fighter yourself, are the corner how tuned in is a fighter between rounds?
If you, in all honesty, my personal perspective, I hear every word my corner said. Timmy, you've cornered me, you've walked with me before. You don't yell, you don't scream. I have the most professional corners in the business, if you ask me. It's a compliment to you, sir, and I mean that.
Thank you.
I hear you crystal clear because the loudest person there is making the least amount of noise, and that's my corner. I feed off my corner. My corner's talking nice and calm, I stay nice and calm. My corner's yelling and screaming, that's all I hear is noise. So it's been my experience. I have great corners, and it's always been, okay, that's what they're talking about. I get that.
So what adjustments do you think should be made?
To be honest, I like the way the stand-up's going. Of course, you could probably pick it apart, pity-yoon, but both fighters look good. I would say that if Brandon hits the ground again, he has to be active. Nice straight right hand, left hook by Brandon. He has to be more active on getting back up. He can't be satisfied with letting Tommy stay on top and control the fight.
As far as the stand-up exchange goes, it seems like Tommy's doing a good job with his jab.
He's doing a great job on the distance, and he's now after a little bit better head movement. And his rear leg's been a bit more accurate. The flying knee. So he looks for the takedown, and he gets it.
Uses a nice waist cinch, elevation, twist the hips, brings him down to the ground.
Brandon does a nice job recovering guard.
And we're back where we were at the end of the first round.
Well, I'm quite sure Tommy's very happy to be here right now.
Oh,
he had no issues. He's throwing short elbows. Brandon has an open guard. and now's the opportunity for him to throw up a, Timmy, from this particular point of view, working a higher guard, maybe seeing it for submission, and, or even if you can't get it, just attacking it to look for the sweep, making the guy on top defend.
Absolutely. If a person's defending their balance, it's really hard to set and throw a shot, much more land a shot. So if they're worried about, keeping their balance, you can kind of keep them at bay and neutralize them that way. As far as the submissions go, you really need the person on top to commit to really wanting to hurt you. And Tommy right now is doing a good job of
it looks like Brandon's trying to get his hips around. Tommy's stuffing it pretty well, but it looked like he was trying to swing that left leg around.
Yeah, the problem he's going to have from this position is Tommy's keeping good posture. You notice how his head is always as high or higher than his hips.
Correct.
If his head were to get lower to his hips, closer to the ground, then he'd be more in danger.
He'd be more vulnerable because his center's off, his balance is off, easier for a sweep. That's what you're saying?
Correct. If Brandon on the bottom, he's got a couple options. He could try to attack sweeps if he has that game. But the other part could be...
Nice short elbow by Tommy right there.
Yeah, he's absorbing damage. I mean, it wouldn't be opposed to him creating space, getting his back against the cage, standing up, and trying to engage.
There he goes. He popped the armbar right off his back.
He needs to control the wrist.
I don't see the... Oh, he tapped. Fantastic. Did not see that coming, ladies and gentlemen. Off his back, all but asleep, and I don't mean that by being knocked out, just lulled his opponent into a false sense of security and exploded on an armbar.
Yeah, I like to talk about that like a changeup. A guy will give you a certain speed, a certain feel or intensity, and they'll kind of lull you to sleep, and then they'll hit a surge. He did a perfect job there. I was calling for him to stand up at that point, and he nails the sweet armbar from the guard. And what I like about it is he knocked him off balance.
I'd love to see that replay, and Timmy, when you see it, walk us right through it.
Okay, and to submit in those elbows.
Here's that replay.
So we've got Tommy on top. He's throwing punches. See how he gets off balance to his left. Brandon snatches up that wrist. He does a great job of controlling the angle of the wrist. It doesn't look like he has the elbow all the way, but he sets the elbow back into the lock. Feet are being pulled to his butt. Very strong, gets the tap.
Fantastic job. And again, just like you said, from this position, we'll see the hips a little quicker. He was just relaxed. This is where he looks to kind of bump his guy over, right there. Got a leg underneath the armpit.
Yeah, did you see the strong reap with that left leg? A lot of people think the leg that covers the chin or the face is the most important part of that technique, but that leg that's behind the armpit, if it's used properly, you get this effect where you knock a person off balance. When they're off balance, you can't really defend your arm.
Fantastic job. This was an excellent fight. We're going to send this down to Jamie Bavot for all the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stops the bout at 2:22 of the second round due to an armbar for your winner. Fighting out of the blue corner, Brandon